focus on my face. What about this big fucking plant? Can we focus on this? I'd like to begin with a little story of how I ended up here. To disclaim a few things. Number one, I made a bunch of notes in my phone. I'm going to reference them as I go. Much like tattoos, plants are an addiction. I have a problem. I do want to tell on myself. I had never owned a houseplant before. I think I had a cactus one time when I was super young, and that died. So as much as I would like to say that I grew up around plants, I really don't know anything. Everything I know about plants has been trial and error. I'm gonna tell you a couple of heartfelt stories through my plant tour. This is not my actual setup for my plants. In front of me I have about nearly 20 smaller plants presented upon my table. I am in fact having a tiny panic attack because they have all just been watered. My table is made out of marble. I'm not actively thinking about it the entire time I'm making this video. So where did I gain all my knowledge, at least enough knowledge about houseplants to have these plants be alive and for the most part thriving? It did not start well, it did start rocky, and I have learned a lot by killing some plants. Pretty sure almost anybody who has houseplants can tell you the same thing. Sometimes it takes killing a few to really understand how to care for and keep these guys alive. Let's back up to last winter. My general climate in my area is very cold and sometimes below zero. Oftentimes it's between 5 and like 30 degrees through most of winter. It gets cold. The apartment that I live in has very drafty windows, so I'm combating an actual New England winter when I have houseplants. Let's back up though, before I understood that those things even matter for houseplants. And let me tell you, I moved in. When I walked in, I saw there were plants. They were struggling. They were really still beautiful. Like, even a struggling plant to me just like really gets my heart. And that's how we ended up like this. They made the home look really inviting, and the overall apartment was absolutely beautiful. She decorated like a champ. It looked gorgeous. In my mind, I was gonna get more plants. We decided that to let these struggling plants kind of go. It was their time. They served their purpose. And I also didn't have enough knowledge to know how to save these particular plants. Fast forward to us going to Lowe's, picking up some more large plants. In 24 hours of having these plants, we realized that they were already dying. Why? Whenever your plant is struggling or sick, you're just like, why? Screamed at them. Like, okay, yeah, I scream at my plants sometimes. Some of them are like really needy, okay? We didn't understand what was happening to our plants. There was one that was hanging near a window that was kind of drafty, and we had the heat going constantly in the house, and we didn't have enough knowledge to understand that we were killing our plants. My love for houseplants began here, and it was my new mission to keep the plants that we had alive, to let the ones go that were too much work for me. And we're not going to talk about how or what happened to the plants that we didn't keep. I didn't understand how special they were. We're kind of going to go through all my plants here. I'll give you any stories that I have on them, what they mean to me, how I saved them, and what their future plans. As I go through, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys which plants are saved. Some plants I bought and they were in great condition. Some plants are still pretty new and they're in their original nursery pots, and some are going to be replanted very, very soon. I'm also going to let you guys know how much I love the plant, hate the plant, and this will be on a scale of, we'll do numbers. we'll do numbers. Important information is how I like the plant on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being I want 1,000 more of them, but I'm too scared that that will make me die alone. A 10 is a plant that maybe need a little more care, but it's very rewarding and it's taught me probably how to care for other plants that I also own. A 10 is educational, beautiful, and easy to care for. A 5 is a plant that I think is pretty, but I hate taking care of it and I hope it just lets itself go on its own. 1 being I absolutely hate it and I put it outside to die. That's a 1. Those are gone now. Let's dive into it. I'm going to start with my least favorite plants and I'll end with my most favorite plants. Favoritist, most favorite. As I go through these, I'm going to reference their names, their scientific names, attempt to say them, fail. You can correct me in the comments if you'd like. I already know I'm saying these things incorrectly because I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll also let you know what I wrote them down as in my telephone. My least favorite plants, I have an example of what happened to the plants that I don't like. Anyone that has houseplants understands what spider mites are. Even if you don't have houseplants, you probably know what spider mites are. I really, when I got houseplants, wanted like the witchiest, creepiest, weirdest plants on the face of the earth, and that was a goal for me, and I really wanted a lot of ivy. I got my ivy, I was really excited, and it got spider mites immediately, as ivies do, and it spread spider mites to my other plants that I love much more. So I took this entire pot of ivy and I put it out on the step to kill it on purpose, slowly and roughly. I hate ivy plants. To begin, I have to say that although most of you probably love succulents, I hate them. They're a 2, and I hope secretly that they die, but if they die, it's almost kind of like they win because I've failed to take care of them. They are needy and awful, and they grow really slow, and they are, you gotta literally turn them every single day so they don't stretch out. So I keep them alive out of pure spite and hatred. Cactuses are technically succulents, and they're amazing. I'll still show them to you. They are very cute. They just drain my whole life. First and foremost, these are some succulents that I received as a gift. This little guy is really fuzzy. He's so cute and I love him, but I also hope he dies. This little guy is super leggy. He's getting less and less leggy. And when I say leggy, guys, succulents, if they don't receive a massive amount of sunlight, an unrealistic amount of sunlight, they will stretch to get to the sunlight, meaning you can have like a viney looking succulent, and that's why you see most people's succulents when you go to their home are all stretched and kind of strange looking. These all are in a south facing windowsill. I am excited because when I got this, I immediately killed both of them, got frustrated, left them on a shelf, and left them to die. And I realized that they were still kind of alive after an entire 2 months of not taking care of them at all. I actually felt so guilty that I repotted them into this. They only both had 1 leaf left, but because they each still had 1 leaf, they actually started sprouting more leaves out of their old stems that were rotted. I don't deserve them to be alive, but I've also given them a bunch of my life force to try and keep them alive. He's so super cute, right? Isn't he just the absolute cutest? He's so sweet. I hate him. It's so much water and light. This guy has underneath here the little dead guys, which he gets pretty often, but I just kind of pull them off and pretend they're not happening. This one's kind of on its way out, so you can just pull them off and pretend they're not happening. Got this one, it was probably the size of just up here. Is there a technical term for a succulent leaf? This is a leaf, right? So they get the new leaves from the center and then it pushes out and makes this flower form. So rewarding. As you can see, like towards in the center here, it was starting to stretch. And now it's actually, because I've started turning it every single day, getting a little more compact and a little more attractive looking. Next up of my succulents is this little guy, and he's like a hens and chick or something. I love him dearly. And he pushes out these little babies, and these are 2 babies that I've gotten from him. They're doing really well. They were much smaller than this one. I have to pull this one off too. These are in like they're in little sauce. Like, I love buffalo sauce. So they're in little sauce, like side sauce things. I have to pot them in soil that drains a little bit better, but I don't have time for that. I don't know what to do about the leaves underneath that are like dying, but once again, see how he was stretching, and now he's getting more compact on the top. Now that it's getting nicer out, he's getting that nice, like reddish, purplish color on his tips, and I'm pretty sure that's going to intensify as he gets more sun. So I lied when I said I hate all succulents. That's not fair. I do have some that I really like. I love my cactuses, and I love my jade plants. For some reason, they're super expensive. I don't know how hard they are to get shipped in to where the area that I live in, but if you get them at any kind of size, like bigger than a baby, they're super expensive. I was at a local nursery. I found a little dude, and he was only like $3.50. I was like, thank you so much, life. I will take it. They're super hardy, and they tell you that they're thirsty by getting little like texturized divots. They look like basically like someone sucked air out of the leaves. Like, hey man, I'm thirsty. All these little dudes on top are all new, so it's very rewarding. Next, I have some cactuses as well. I'm gonna say that it's still like a 3 or a 4, because if it really doesn't make it, it's gonna be okay, and I will let it go, and I will move on, and I won't buy the same thing again. Please hold while I try and find the scientific name. Called PEDIOCACTUS SIMPSONII. Okay. Often these are at Lowe's or Home Depot. It has a little glued on flower at the top. There's a lot of like plant people memes online that talk about getting a spray painted plant, and I think this is just as annoying, and I hate that these are on here. So the sad thing that happens with these, in case you do want one, because you're like, oh, a little flower. No. As the cactus grows, which it will, because it's not actually super hurting it, it rips all of the little spikes off, and the actual glue pulls these little spikes off, and then it forces these to grow new little spikes. And I'm sure there's like a scientific name for the spikes, but we're gonna call them spikes. You'll be okay. Educate me below. You'll be fine. Come for me. So in here, obviously he's growing new little guys, and he's doing okay. He's just really ugly. He's just an ugly cactus. Thing happens and he doesn't make it. I'm okay. I'm gonna let it go. And out of all his little holes, he'll actually push flowers that look like this out of them. And he gave me some, but then they die and they smell weird, and it's just like, just don't get it. This little guy I got from IKEA, and yeah, he just keeps pushing out more little balls. Very exciting, but also very boring, because it takes a very long time, and I never really notice when a new one's coming in. Yeah, he's really cute, and he'll stay alive, and he'll deal with my bullshit, but like, is he fun? Is he exciting? Absolutely not. It's a very boring plant. Not a lot going on, but stable. I'm gonna give him a 5. He's gonna give me more balls, but he's not my favorite. He's okay. I have one more succulent. Are cactuses even succulent? Did I Google it? I don't care enough. I have one more cactus that I absolutely love. It's cool. It's definitely a 6. We're gonna say it's a 6. It's so professional and so organized. So cute. He's so cute. He's so cute, and if you don't think he's cute, you're the worst. I also, so I left his little label that they put into him because it literally just says Cactus. Look at him. Like, I feel like he's just misunderstood, and yeah, I think that I overwatered him a little bit. See how he has like a weird texture in there? I'm pretty sure that's just from like overwatering. It's like, not that he's like rotted, but I'm gonna chill on watering him. Water only when dry. Well, we don't listen to that now, do we? Because he's rotting from the inside. I will give him an 8 because I love him, and he's 0% rewarding, but I just like looking at him, and he's very aggressive.